a solution to a scenario that usually pops up for me quite frequently, which is, for example, a user comes up to you saying, we, for example, had this event, and in the event we collected all the emails of all the attendees. Could you check to see if they exist in Dynamics and maybe create a lead for all these email addresses, or maybe register them to an events entity? Or, for example, I exported a list out of Dynamics a couple weeks ago. It's jumped across different spreadsheets. I just, for example, have the emails or the phone names. Can you cross-reference that with Dynamics and then pull a specific field out or update a field to certain value? So there's a couple of choices. You could do this manually, which would be a bit time consuming since I have about 50 emails here. In a normal world, I'd probably use a console app to loop through each of these records, query Dynamics, and then do whatever I need to do. But hopefully I can show you a quicker, probably easier solution than that as well. So jump straight into PowerApps to something I did earlier. So if you look at my data source, I've just uploaded that spreadsheet we were just looking at with a list of email addresses. And you can see this gallery over here. It's just showing all the email address in my Excel list. And I've also added my Dynamics instance using the CDS connector. If I just go ahead and run that and hit this find button. So what's now happening is for each email address in my or was in my spreadsheet, I'm going to query Dynamics and check if they exist. I want to copy that contact into a collection. And you can see it's actually looping through each one of those, and it can actually take some time to run as it's going through each and individual contacts. You can see that it's taken up, and I've got about 50. So we can have a look at what's behind this find button. So we're using for all, which is similar to a for loop if you're familiar with that. So for each email address in my Excel list, look up to Dynamics and find a contact whose email address is the same as the email I'm looking for, and then put that into a collection called found contacts. Cool. Just run that again. Okay, so it's now gone through and found a match for all these emails. So this is actual data from my Dynamics instance using that email address as a key. So for example, if we go back to my find button, you could replace email with, for example, if you have the full name of the contact, if you have the special primary key instead that you have that you can use to match the contact up. Good. So now that you've got all the data you need, all your contacts in PowerApps, you can then do whatever from here. Like for example, if you wanted to update some fields for those contacts, or you wanted to register them onto an event or add them to a marketing list, so you can do that straight away. But another thing you can do as well, which I only just recently figured out, is the export button. So what this allows you to do is basically export out a collection into JSON. So if you go into insert, controls, and then you've got the export control. Awesome. Export data. So I just need to set which collection I need to export, which is my found contacts collection. So now Alt press that. It's now going to download that collection. Open that as a zip file, and you can see I've got some JSON files here which may not be useful for a normal user. So let me just open data JSON. So that actually has all the contact details that I just pulled from Dynamics. And what you can do with this JSON file, so I'm just going to copy that and then Google JSON to Excel. Literally jump on the first result, copy and paste that JSON file into here. Awesome. And I could just download that as a CSV. Cool. So I've got all the data from Dynamics from those specific 50 contacts that I was looking for. And again, I can tidy this up and send that back to the user. Awesome. So what we've done basically is query a list of random emails, checked and found them in Dynamics, and actually exported out the full details of those contacts. Thank you very much for watching.